Hey everybody. Hey everybody. Here we go. Hey Denise from New Orleans. Here we go. Y'all see that? Here we go. Hey everybody. No Donzel, no poem. Hey. Thank y'all so much for being here. Can everybody hear me really good? My hair's picking up. Hey, Love Pepe too. Hey, Jesse. And Patrice and Gina and Sharon and Donzel and Louise. I think I saw Louise. Hey, y'all. Can y'all see the goal? Hey, Martin. Hey, and Tianda. Hey, Deborah and Rosalind. Everybody. Daisy. Hey, Dimps. Tabitha. Hey, everybody. Thank y'all so much for being here. Let me get myself together. Hey, Brenda. You know your sponsor heard me say hey, and now he has to say hey. Hey, Marlene and Kevin and Martha and Cassie. Come on, say hi to the people. What happened, babe? Oh, say hi to the people. Say hi to the people. Say hi. You want to say hi to the people? Yeah. Rhonda said hi. Donzel said hi. Turn your head this way so you can say hi to the people. They're over there. Hi to the people. You want to say hi to the people? Yeah. Ask them which one of them gonna give you a girlfriend, huh? Somebody gonna give you a girlfriend? Somebody. Okay. A lot on the trailer page. Oh, okay. So I can't see them. Merry Christmas. Hey, y'all. Hey, Brenda C. and Town Mama. All right. So if you can't see the live chat, if you don't see the chat moving, then you're not in the right chat. You're not in the live chat. You're in the something else. What is it? Not the live chat. Okay. So let me start by saying this because I kind of have like an agenda for myself and I want to stay on track. First of all, thank you for being here. That means if you're here, I'm going to assume that you are finished shopping. Hey, Missy. And good, very good for you. Give yourself a pat on the back for that. Or you might not be a shopper anyway, or maybe you shopped a long time ago. But at any rate, thank you very much for being here. I do appreciate that. Second, even though we are going to be talking about sublimation this whole time, from whatever time we start to whatever time we finish, I want to start by saying this because I kind of normally say it at the end. Don't feel pressured to start with sublimation. Do not feel pressured to start with sublimation. So if you are here and you have not started with sublimation, but you feel like you have to because everybody else is doing it, I personally want to just say you do not have to get started with sublimation. So I want you to know that. I want you to hear from me. You have seen me do a lot of projects if you've been with me, and you know that I don't do sublimation every day. I'm not doing a sublimation project every day. I'm not sublimating something every day. I have 2 sublimation printers that are capable of doing a lot of stuff, and I do not use them every day. And I don't feel any pressure. I don't feel pressure to do everything that everyone else is doing. So I want you to hear me when I say this. Do not put yourself in a bind trying to keep up with what it looks like everybody else is doing. Okay, so I want to start with that. Are we clear on that? Let me see a thumbs up on that. Hey, Zelda. Hey, Town Mama. Okay. Hey, Marshall and April and Laura and Kawanda. Hey. Okay. So I definitely want to just start with that because if you haven't, you don't have to. So instead of saving infusible ink to the end. We're going to start with infusible ink. Okay. Hey, thank you, Diana. So I already have the image already downloaded. You see my Cricut Maker right here. We're going to just jump right in and start with cutting out a design. And I'm going to press it on a shirt just so you can see that infusible ink is sublimation ink. And if you are not ready to get started with sublimation, like all of the things that go along with sublimation, you can start here. I suggest you start here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and send this to cut. We're going to let the Cricut do what it's supposed to do. Okay, Patricia, let me make sure it's connected. Let me check myself. Hold on. Okay. Visible ink, blah, 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 blah. Is it mirrored? Okay, so you see my infusible ink is on the mat and it is face up and it's mirrored. The design that I'm getting ready to cut out is already mirrored. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it. So just press the flash and see. If you are just coming in and you forgot to hit the like button, go ahead and do that. Take care of that. That makes sense to me, Martha. Good, Teresa, that's smart. Hey, Leslie. Okay, Faye. All right. It's very expensive, yes. Well, it can be, definitely. Millipede, I saw the Epson, the ET 15,000 on Amazon for $549 too. Okay, Patricia. Hey, Princess. Bought a ton of earrings. So, Miss C, what I've noticed about that is when there's a lot of ghosting, it's just not enough tape. Trust me, I know, because I'm not someone who likes to use a lot of tape. Hey, Tony D. Nothing. Feeling the diversity. Hopefully, I will inspire you right here. Yeah, I said my tape had tape. Sublimation markers. Haven't used Infusible Ink. Okay. We're going to get into all of that, Anna. We're going to get into all of that. All right. So if you are just joining and you're like, what is going on? What is right here is Infusible Ink on just a regular Cricut mat. The Infusible Ink is on the mat face up, but the design is mirrored. Infusible ink is what I always suggest people start out with because sublimation, it does require to get started, okay? But infusible ink is not expensive. This this sheet of infusible ink right here came from this box. This box costs about $8. Excuse me. Bless you, girl. Okay, this box costs about $8. Okay, I am going to weed this and then I'm going to press it on a shirt just so you can see how beautiful it is. Okay, and then we're going to get into the whole conversation. How do you hit the like button? Where is the like button? Subscribe to your channel. Finally, I think last week. It should be right under the video. Thank you, Miss C. Thank you, Faye. Okay. Print designs. I agree, Leslie. I agree. All right. So I'm going to remove it. I'm going to just check it. Like, did it cut? Do I think it cut? Thank you, Louise. You know, I'm going to say, yes, I think it cut. So I'm going to go ahead and remove it from the machine and start to weed it. Now I'm going to put the machine back over here, but I definitely wanted to start with this so you can see what it's like. Hey, I wonder. All right. So I'm gonna just turn the mat over and pull this away. If you are just joining and you like this, Delonda said she's gonna be talking about sublimation and she's talking about infusible ink. Infusible ink is sublimation ink. I have this heat press right here heating up to 385 degrees. And I'm going to press this design on a shirt for, I'm going to do 50 seconds. I think Cricut recommends like 40 seconds. Okay. All right. Now y'all going to see me struggle with this, removing this infusible ink from this backing because I'm not really good at it. I'm not really good, but I'm going to do my best. Hey, Diana. Hey, LaShonda. We got some professionals in here, y'all. All right, so with infusible ink, it has this sticky backing, right? And what you do is just remove everything that you don't want to press, anything that's not a part of the design, you just remove it from the backing, okay? So that's what I'm going to do. Everything that I want to press, I'm going to keep it on the sticky backing. And once I finish weeding it, you'll be able to see what it says. Yeah, it's a little bit tricky. If you miss me saying thank you for being here, thank you for being here. You use it. You use it. You're on. Okay. Oh, y'all finished shopping? No, it's not like HTV at all. It's like sublimation ink. You just can't use it with photos or pictures. Infusible ink is really to be used with cut files. Okay. Think of the weed. It's difficult if it doesn't cut all the way through. That's why it's always a good idea to kind of check it if you can. And make, kind of feel it and make sure it does cut all the way through. But I love infusible ink a lot. I honestly wish I would have started with infusible ink, but I'm sharing what the things with you that I wish I would have known beforehand. Let me pull it up here so you can see it. It's Sublimation Ink, yes. Anything that you can use as a sublimation blank, you can use Infusible ink on it. Anything. And I do mean anything. Shirts, mugs, hats, bags, tumblers, anything that has a polyester coating that you can use for sublimation, you can use Infusible ink on it. Probably should have weeded this before I started, but I wanted y'all to see the process of it if you haven't tried it. And hopefully this isn't deterring you. Like, nah, Delonda, I'm good. I'm good on Infusible ink. Hopefully this doesn't deter you. And let me see. I'm gonna try to go a little faster. But while I'm doing this, if you haven't liked the video, go ahead and like the video. And also, while you're waiting for me to finish doing this, I would like for you to look at the links below the video. I have updated my link tree. So like all of my links to my social media are updated in my link tree. So you can follow me on other social media platforms. You can also click in there to join my Facebook group. As long as you're not a scammer and you don't try to sell anything, you'll be good. You will like it. But if you try to sell something, then we gotta what? Block you. We tell you to be what? Blocked and be blessed. As long as you're not a scammer, you can join. Oh, this is gonna be really cute. It doesn't. I don't think it expires. I have had all this. I'm going to show y'all everything, really. I promise I am. Hold on. I'm weeding out parts that I want to keep. I want to keep this. Yeah, I want to keep that. And I don't want to keep that. Oh, this is going to be so cute. Keep that. Oh, this is going to be really good. It's going to be really good. All right. You can, but most people say just use your fingers. So that's what I'm trying to do. So I use my weeding tool as I need to. Like if it's something that's stuck on there that I want to take off, I use the weeding tool. But it's coming up pretty good. You're going to see it in a minute. And then you're going to be like, oh, she was right. It's really good. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so good. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Oh, that's going to be really good. Let me finish weeding my letters. Okay, you see that? Right? So then there's this like white, some little white pieces of the paper that's stuck on there. I'm just take that off. And then I'm going to press it on the Cricut shirt. So remember, with infusible ink, you use SVGs. SVGs are cut files. You saw my Cricut cut this. Did you see me print anything? Did I print? Did you see me print? Brenda! I didn't want to say her name like that, but I had to. I didn't want to. I did not even want to say it like that. Like, I had to. It's like literally in the rules. Okay. I don't make the rules. I just follow them. Okay, so there's, now this right here, it's not going to mess up my shirt, so I'm going to just leave it. All right. So my heat press is still heating up. Let me grab a shirt. I think I have one right here already. I thought I did. Just kidding. I made that up. Just kidding. I made that up. Cut. I'll show y'all this, but I'm not going to use this shirt. Just kidding. I'll use this one. Okay, so whenever I'm sublimating a shirt, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to use a Cricut shirt because I like the quality of them. I don't really use the ladies cut though, because the ladies shirts have a V-neck. Like all of the Cricut ladies shirts have a V-neck, and I don't really wear it. I don't think you've ever seen me wear a V-neck shirt. I just personally don't like them. But the men's shirt is not a V-neck. Okay, so I normally, if I'm making a shirt for myself and I'm sublimating it, I'm going to use a Cricut men's shirt, even though the Cricut shirts run small. So if you typically wear a medium, you don't. Not in these. Okay, you're gonna need a large. If you typically wear a large, you're gonna need an extra large. Whatever size you typically normally get one size up. All right. Hey, Real Praise. Hey, me. I love me. Literally. Okay. All right. So I am taking the shirt out of the package. This is a men's medium. I like them because they are 95% polyester. They're not 100%. They're 5% elastane, and that just means it has some stretch, right? It has some give to it, which is good. And I like them because they're thicker than most other polyester shirts. Okay, so it can go on mugs. Absolutely. Let me show you a mug while I'm waiting for this to heat up. But I'm going to also lint roll this. Still not at the right temperature yet. Let me get a infusible ink mug so you can see it. So this is infusible ink on a mug, okay? And it's not coming off, and I do put mine in the dishwasher. So I don't hand wash these. They got to be able to last because ain't nobody got time for that. This is infusible ink on a mug. This is just, let me show you, hold on. Cheers. Cheers. That right there is this pattern right here. Okay. That's what this is. And then on the other side, I just put a D. This is just, it's infusible ink. Okay. This is, look, Kiki. This is also infusible ink on a mug. This was done with infusible ink markers. Okay, so you color it in on the, I colored mine on Sublimation Paper, and then I take the paper up and put this in my Cricut mug press. Okay. Honey, it's my favorite. Okay. All right. So we good on that? You understand that? Anything you can use as a blank for sublimation, you can use infusible ink. And if you miss me saying that you don't have to start with sublimation, you can start with infusible ink. I don't like it when, and I'm speaking from just things I've seen and people who have reached out to me for help and stuff like that. The number one thing I see is that people jump into sublimation and they think that is going to be, I just think they jump in without having enough information, and it's just not good. So I always suggest people start with infusible ink. And if you are just getting started with sublimation, do not start with taking orders. That's not the starting point. That's where you end up after practice. Okay, that's not where you start. Don't reach out to somebody and say, I just took an order for 10 shirts. Can somebody help me? That's not the starting point. Okay? That's you don't do that. All right, so now my heat press has, I'm gonna say it's reaching the desired temperature. Okay, so honey. All right, so I'm going to lint roll this shirt, and then I'm going to put butcher paper inside the shirt. The purpose of putting butcher paper inside the shirt is to protect the back of the shirt. I don't want the ink to go through from the front to the back. Does that make sense? I'm going to put butcher paper inside to make sure that whatever ink I put on top, I don't want it to be back here. I don't want my shirt to say Arium the Sakaluzaka. Okay? Because it would just be wrong. It would be wrong. And we don't need that kind of drama. Do we need that kind of drama? No. Okay. You give a, okay. Sounds good to me. Okay. Hey, Eve. I'm not good at lint rolling either, y'all. But I'm doing my best. I'm gonna try to tell you why I'm doing everything that I'm doing. My back is to you, but I'm still here. I still love you. The purpose of lint rolling is to make sure that none of those blue fibers that typically show up from nowhere, because where did they even come from? They really, like, where did you come from? Nobody saw you beforehand. You were hiding. If you lint roll, that takes care of that. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Happy anniversary. All right. I'm sticking this in here. All right. Merry Christmas. All right. So I have the shirt. I have the heat press. It's set to 385 degrees for, I think I set it for 50 seconds. I've lint rolled the shirt. I cut out the infusible ink. I mirrored the infusible ink. I double checked to make sure I weeded everything that I don't want to be on that shirt. I have butcher paper inside the shirt to make sure that none of this ink goes through from the front to the back. What we call that? From the rooter to the tutor. Okay, so I'm going to put this down on the shirt with this, the image that I want to see. That's going to be facing up. Okay, and I'm going to try to, let me pre-press it first. Pre-press. Pre-pressing removes any moisture that's in the shirt. Okay, I'm putting this down. I'm going to just kind of make sure that it's straight. I kind of go down like about 3 finger lengths from the top. That's what I do. Now you can use heat resistant tape, but I have found, hopefully y'all can hear me, I have found with infusible ink, sometimes you don't need heat resistant tape if there's enough adhesive that's going to hold it in place, okay? All right. Now, I don't know if y'all have any questions so far. Now, I have butcher paper inside. I have the infusible ink on top of that. I'm going to put butcher paper on top of that so that none of this ink gets on my heat press. That's the purpose of butcher paper. I'm going to press this with heavy pressure for 50 seconds. Okay, any questions so far about infusible ink before we start talking about sublimation? Whenever I'm talking about sublimation, I normally end the discussion about infusible ink, but I'm starting there because I don't want you to be in a rush. All right? You do 10 seconds, okay? So this is how I keep my infusible ink. I just have this little, I have a 8 cubby thing that I got from Sam's Club, and 2 of them are used to keep my infusible ink. So this is how I store mine. And if it's like not a full sheet, see how this one just says like not a full sheet? I have not done all over shirts. All right, so my heat press opened up. So I'm going to bring it over here and let you see it. There's nothing on this butcher paper. I won't say anything about it, but okay. All right, so I'm gonna bring it over here and I'm going to reveal it in front of you. Inside here is still the butcher paper that I put inside. Y'all see that? Let's see. Let me bring this down so you can see it really good. Make sure you can see it really good. Y'all see that? Y'all see it good? Y'all see it? Okay. All right, so now I'm just going to peel it back. And the thing about infusible ink is that this ink is in the fabric. It's not on top of the fabric, it's actually in the fabric. So when I stretch this out, you can see it's in the fibers of the fabric. It's not like vinyl. Okay. So if you haven't started with infusible ink or you haven't started your sublimation journey, a good way to practice is with infusible ink. Okay. Okay. All right. So, I have, look at this. It's not on top. It's in the fibers of the fabric. So I can't say enough about it. So this is one example. I've shown you what mugs look like with infusible ink. I have done some other shirts and I have them right here as examples to show you because kind of want you to really understand what infusible ink is. That file came from, you know, good old Creative Fabrica. Let me give you the link to that. I cut it. You saw me cut it just now, right? I cut it right in front of you. Good old Creative Fabrica. So if you were going to, I don't know, a Christmas party, right? And you wanted to have a shirt and you just want to make something real quick and you don't have time to go, you know, print and all that stuff, you can just use infusible ink. So easy. Walmart sells it, Target sells it. You can get it at any local store. You don't have to order it online. You can, but you don't have to. All right. Let me leave the link to that. Merry Christmas file. Sorry, 1 second, you guys. All right, and then we're going to get into talking about sublimation. And if you haven't already hit the like button, please take care of that. Hey, Angel B. Hey, Angel B. How are you? Really good. Thank you for being here. 1 second, you guys. Enter. Put it in the chat. Paste. I didn't, Rhonda. I didn't. Okay. So we're good on infusible ink. We understand that. Do I record with a phone? No. This right here. This is an iPad. I'm using my iPad. See? Let's see if it'll give you hearts. Look at that. All right. All right. We good now? If you are just coming in, this is the goal. So remember that, you know, if you have watched any video of mine, if you've been with me live at any time, what I typically say to everyone is whenever I'm sharing information, I'm really sharing my opinion, right? Because I'm sharing what has worked for me. And what I'm saying, what the information that I'm getting ready to share with you is still a lot of it is going to be my opinion. So right here where it says Sublimation 7, I put that in quotes because these things are my opinion. In my opinion, these are the 7 things you need to get started with sublimation. Some people might say, well, you really need gloves or you really need, you know, you really have to have, you know, this and that. Did you see me use gloves just now? Did you just see me use gloves? No, because you don't have to. It depends on what you're cutting, right? It depends on what you're making. So in my opinion, you're going to need these things. You're going to need, when you truly get started with sublimation, you're going to need paper, ink, a printer, a heat source, butcher paper, heat resistant tape, and you're going to need substrates. Those are the things we're going to be talking about, okay? So after you started with infusible ink and you are well on your way, you know you're going to need those things. Those things require money. Everything I just named right here requires money. All right, so let's talk about paper first. For the first, I don't know, 10 to 15 minutes, we're going to just talk about paper. And I'm going to show you some paper because there are a lot of different companies that make sublimation paper. And I have a lot of them. And even though I have a lot of them, I still have a favorite. And you will find the one that you feel is your favorite when you get started on your journey too. All right, so this one right here is Sublimation Paper. This is the favorite. This is my favorite. I use this most of the time when I'm sublimating something. If I'm just sublimating something for myself, a mug or a tumbler or a shirt or anything, most of the time, this is my go-to. And even if I have other 8.5 by 11 sublimation paper, I'll still order this one when I run out. Okay. So this right here is just the brand. A-Sub is a brand of sublimation paper, right? Like you could say, oh, I love four-door cars. Well, you can get four-door cars in a lot of different brands. You can get a four-door Toyota. You can get a four-door Hyundai. You can get you know what I mean? So this is just a brand of paper. This right here, 125 grams, that refers to how much ink will be absorbed into the paper, okay? So that will matter to you once you determine the one that you like the best. But let me show you some other brands of sublimation paper, okay? Oh, I told you I would show you some other infusible ink. We'll go back to that in a minute. Let me keep going and talking about paper. All right, so here's A-Sub. Here is Hippo sublimation paper. So this is also 8.5 by 11. This box comes with 110 sheets. This is 120 grams, whereas this one is 125 grams. Okay. All right. On the back of this one, it kind of tells you, you know, how to use it. Like if you're using it on textiles, then what time and temperature, how much pressure. This one says on a ceramic mug. Okay, so it just, this one even tells you if you're pressing wood. I have never sublimated on wood, so I don't really have any information to share with you about that. This one is True Picks by Sawgrass. Okay, this one is 100 sheets. It does the same thing about the gram, so I'm assuming it's really made for Sawgrass printers. This is the StarCraft brand. 25 sheets, 125 grams, also 8.5 by 11. This one is Hippo also. I didn't even know I had 2 boxes of Hippo. I just realized that. So this one is 125 grams. So Hippo makes, oh, they make a 120 gram and they make a 125 gram. Okay. This one is HTV Ront. So theirs is 105 grams. Look at that. Y'all hear Milo? This is a PYD Life brand. I have only used this with PYD Life tumblers. I've never used this on a shirt or a bag or anything else. Okay. So those are different brands. Now, in addition to loving the A-Sub brand in 8.5 by 11, I also love it in other sizes. Okay, so like I have this one, this A-Sub 8.5 by 14. So you can use this from your regular standard size printer, and I don't know if you know that it should go up to 8.5 by 14. Okay, so there's that. They also make it in 125 grams, 11 by 17. I use this with my large or my wide format printer. They also make it in 13 by 19. Okay. In the 125 grams. And then I also have it in the 105 grams, 13 by 19. Okay. So what I want you to know about paper. Paper is not something you have to be married to. You don't have to be stuck with it. You're not welded to it. You don't have to be committed to it. You can try out different brands of paper until you find the one that you like the most. Okay. So with paper, it's just like, you know, like test driving, go back to cars, test driving a car. You're going to test drive cars until you find the right car for you. Like you might like a Toyota 4-door, but maybe the seats are too low, or, you know, they'll have enough features in it. Right. So you would find the one that you like the most. From the ones that I've tried, I tend to stick with A-Sub. Okay. With this, I typically use this for tumblers because I don't need it to absorb all that ink, right? I use the 125 grams really for fabric. That's what I do. Okay. I don't know what you're talking about, feeling the diversity. Okay. Okay. Denise said crafting bestie makes a good sublimation paper. So she's found one, or he or she has found, Denise, I'm saying that's a woman, has found the one that, she likes. All right. Any questions about paper? Oh, good, Judy. Any questions about paper? Remember, with paper, you don't have to be stuck with that one. You can try them all until you find the one that you love. Any questions about paper? I do, Kawanda. I do. The reason why, Kawanda, because I didn't buy all of these. Normally, when I'm working with a company, like when I'm working with PYD Life and they send tumblers or something like that, they want me to use their paper. And if I'm working with HTV Ront, they want me to use their paper. So that's typically when I use it. Okay. All right. So now let me go back to Infusible Ink because I said I would show you some examples on shirts and I didn't do that. But let me put this away. And then we're going to talk about ink. After I show you these Infusible Ink examples, we're going to talk about ink. I kind of just want to have myself organized before I started so I wouldn't be off track. All right, so I have some examples right here with Infusible Ink. So this is a shirt that I made with Infusible Ink. If you're having a problem with color, I would guess the problem is your settings. Okay, so this right here it came from this box right here. It was this. That's what I think it was. I think it was that. Okay. This right here is that knockout design. So it just says mommy, and then it has my kids' names in the middle, Miles, Madison, Morgan, and I just connected their names with the hearts. That one was done with let me show you the one I used for that one. That one was done with this. I think I used this. Okay. And so those are that. And then this one right here, I made this one last year. And what I did was I just created an offset. So this is black. I put the black Infusible Ink down first, and then I put the red in the middle of it. So this is two colors. Okay. All right. Does the other paper bleed? No. I would say no. I would say no, it doesn't. All right. And I have done some shirts with hacks with Infusible Ink. Let me show you what I mean when I say hack. So a hack means you're not using the product the way it was intended to be used. So I made this shirt with Infusible Ink. This is just 3 different colors of Infusible Ink. And underneath this is glitter vinyl. So I just put the glitter vinyl down first, and then I layered the Infusible Ink on top. Okay. And this is just a black Gildan cotton shirt. Okay. Hey, Kristen. Hey. Okay. All right. So we're good? Thank you, Carolyn. I appreciate that. All right. And everything I'm showing you, every single thing I've shown you so far, there's a tutorial for it on my channel. It doesn't crack with the vinyl. No, I don't. I mean, it's right. No. Mm-mm. And I watched this maybe 2 or 3 times, but I made this last year. You see it. See what it looks like. It held up nicely, I would say. Okay. All right, y'all ready? Okay. What's your question, Holder? Holder on the go. Hey, Elevate Artistry. Thank you, Rhonda. All right. What's your question, Holder? You like Hippo, did not like ASA, 13 by 19 Pro Sub. Okay. Can laser paper be used for sublimation? I have heard that laser copy paper can, but it depends on the thickness or something like that. I just haven't tried that, Holder. Thank you, Donzel. All right, so we good now. We're ready to talk. We've talked about infusible ink. I've given you my spiel about not being in a rush. And now we're going to talk about ink. The ink that I use, let me first say about ink. Unlike paper, ink is something that you should decide on. Like, it's not something that you should like, oh, I want to try Hippo. Now I want to try this brand. Now I want to try this brand. That's not something that you should keep trying to change out. Like, I think once you try one or once you decide on one, that's the one you should really stick with. And I'm only saying that because I've only tried Hippo. And if you've been with me, you will know I used to call it Hippo. Like, if you look at some of my older videos, I say Hippo. And forever, until the day I take my last breath, I'm going to blame the company. It's their fault for adding that extra O. Okay? Because Hippo is not Hippo. But anyway, I digressed. This is what my first box looked like. And do you see a hippo on here? Do you? Do we see a hippo anywhere? I don't. And this O right here, that one, like if they just would have crossed that out and just take away one of the eyes and add a P, that would have been hippo. But they reached out to me one day and I said, please tell me how to say your name. How do you pronounce your name? I would love to work with you one day, but I don't even know how to say your name. I'm surprised they even wanted to work with me because they're like, this girl don't even know how to say hippo. Okay. But this is the ink I use. This is the only kind I've ever tried, ever. And I don't intend to try another brand. And I have had people ask me, I would say maybe 20 to 30 times in my whole entire crafting career, can they change the ink? I don't know. That's just the God's honest truth. I don't know. I think that people have done it successfully with syringes. I have never tried it and I don't plan to. Okay. And that's just saying it's poo, hip poo. But they changed the box. Mocha crochet. They changed the box and they did this. And then when I saw it, I was like, oh, it's a hippo. That's how I realized it, okay? I'm just saying. So you need to know ink and paper are not in the same category. Once you decide on ink, my advice is to stick with that. I don't even have any other ink to show you because I've only used Hippo. I've only used this kind. Kristen uses Starcraft. Other people have tried I've heard of other brands. I can't think of them right now, but I haven't tried any other brand and I don't intend to. Okay. The thing you need to know about ink, if you are not going to use a true sublimation printer, meaning the printer is already set up to be used with sublimation ink, you are buying a sawgrass printer. If you're okay, Apple. Apple, you better be giving me a thumbs up. Okay, so people use Cosmo printers, Jack. Okay, good. Thank you for sharing that because I haven't tried any other ones. But if you are you're purchasing a printer like an Eco Tank, and you have decided that you want to convert the printer, you're really not converting it. That just means you're going to put sublimation ink in the printer instead of the ink that comes with the printer. That's all that means. That's all that means. It's not like you're getting ready to, let me get out my tools so I can go convert this printer. You don't need any tools. You don't need a screwdriver or a hammer or a wrench or nails or nothing. You don't need any of that stuff. You're not doing anything magical. Really, you're just not going to put the ink in it that came with it. When I say that, what am I talking about? So when I purchased my printer, my Epson Eco Tank 2760, it came with ink, as most printers do. It comes with ink. I knew already that I wasn't supposed to put that ink in there. So that ink that came with those printers is in this box. I'm going to show you what's in this box. I have two. Well, I actually have three. We're only going to talk about two because one of them is a... Okay, balloons. This is all the ink that came with the printers. I never opened it. I didn't throw it away. I couldn't make myself do it. But all of this ink, this came with the printer. Okay, all of this is unopened, and it came with those printers that I converted. Okay, that's what this is. And I just haven't thrown it away. And all of this says Eco Tank, ink bottle, Eco Tank, magenta. That's what this is. Yes. Oh, that's good. Tanya, it's something with Apple. Yes, Marshall, that's exactly what it's doing. Okay. That's what I should do, but can't I don't want to mess with it. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, when you purchase ink, I suggest that you get the refill bottles, not the bottles that require syringes. What do I mean by that? So these right here, these are what are considered as refill bottles. Let me see if it says refill on it. It doesn't. It doesn't say it's a refill bottle, but I'm going to show you the difference between a refill bottle and a regular bottle that's not a refill bottle. Let me see if I have one. Oh no. I don't even have one. Let's see if this is one. Oh, this is one. How do you change it? Faye, I just said I haven't changed mine. I did not change mine. Printers come with ink inside. Where do you buy a printer that already has ink inside? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Sally. Okay, so pay attention. Like if you're not going to use the links below my video, I'm fine with that. I will survive. I will survive, okay? But if you are going to go out on your own and go to Amazon and buy the ink you want to buy, make sure you're buying what are called refill bottles. This is not a refill bottle. This is a bottle that you would need a syringe for, okay? This is not a refill bottle. This is not a refill bottle. Now, this is magenta ink, and it's Hippo. It's Sublimation Ink. You see that? It says Sublimation Ink. This is also Hippo, and it's Sublimation Ink. Oh, you'd have to, I guess, wait for it to be finished, Anna. You see the difference in these two caps? We're going to talk about that in a minute, Charlotte. You see the difference in these two caps? Okay, so with this, in order to use, like to pour it into my printer, I would have to use a syringe some kind of way. But with this, okay, so here it is with the cap on it. Like when you're looking at the box, the picture on Amazon, if that's where you're going to get it from, look at the cap. Like make sure you can see the cap. So this is with the cap on it, right? I can turn this over and the ink won't pour out because the ink will come out once it's connected to the printer. Okay. So I'm going to turn this camera around so we can look at the printer, and I'm going to show you what I mean by that. How you convert the printer. Okay. How are y'all feeling so far about the things that we've already talked about? Because some of your questions are about things we haven't talked about yet. There's Morgan. Oh, last night Demps said for you not to change your hair because it was pretty.
Change it.
She said not to change it.
To what?
She said don't change it. It was pretty.
Oh, so it's pretty like this.
Yes.
Thank you for all the love on my video, y'all.
That's Morgan, y'all. Y'all feeling good? Okay. So we've talked about infusible ink. We've talked about paper. We've talked about ink. And now I'm going to go over to the printer, and I'm just going to talk about how you would put the ink in the printer and why I am suggesting to get this kind of bottle and not this kind. Okay. All right, Stephanie. I feel good. I feel good all over. Picture look good, huh? Oh man, Christopher, I'm sorry. Okay, so we're going over to the printer, and I'm going to turn the camera off because y'all don't need to go on a field trip. Okay, you don't need a field trip. Not over here. You need a field trip on your own. Okay. All right. Good, Kristen. Look, Apple, y'all better keep showing me love. Thank you. Oh my, hey. All right. Stopping the camera, moving it over. What are you doing?
Delivering pizza with your account. I'm gonna pay for it. I just wanted to use it.
I'm still here, you guys. Hopefully I'm not ooh, y'all better be glad I turned this camera off because you'd be like, you know what? I'm not interested. That's what you would say. That's what you would say. Well, I need my phone back, girl. Let's see. Intermission. Why does the sublimation paper stick to the HTV? Is your paper glossy or matte? You finished?
No, I didn't even start.
I'll help you in a minute.
Okay, thanks.
What time is it?
It's like 25 minutes, so maybe when I get at 6:30 should be good.
Okay. Hold on, y'all. I'm going to try to connect from my phone. Good. Thank y'all so much. Okay. Enter. Let's see if I can connect it over here so I can have my hands free while I show you that. Let's see, we need to go back. We need to go like this. Trying to make sure y'all can see the top of the printer. That won't help you. We're gonna see if this will work. Hopefully it will. Okay. Can y'all see that good enough? Can y'all see that this printer right here good enough? Can you hear me? Yes, perfect. Okay, good. All right, so this is my Epson EcoTank 2760 series printer. This is just my label printer for when I'm mailing out stuff. But this printer right here has sublimation ink in it, but it came with the ink that I showed you from that green box. Okay? And when I'm ready to, let's just say I just bought it today and I have never used it ever. I never used this printer. I just took it out of the box and I put it right here on this shelf and I was ready to put the ink inside. If I open this up, let me move this printer so y'all can see. Hopefully I won't disconnect anything. If I were to try to put this ink in here, it would not go well. It would, trust me. I don't want to show you, but it wouldn't go well. So anyway, when it's time for me to add ink, or if I just bought it today and I want to add ink to it, I would have to open this up. See that? See these cartridges right here? And what I would do is I would look at the color to make sure the color of bottle that's in my hand matches the cartridge. So this is black, yellow, magenta. See what I'm doing? So I would make sure I'm holding the right color. So right here is magenta, and I would have magenta in my hand. Hippo, Sublimation Ink. And does it say magenta? Yes, magenta. So I would make sure that I'm matching the ink to the color cartridge that I'm putting it in. And what I would do is I would open the cartridge just like this. I would open the cap. Remember I said this ink doesn't pour. Like you see me, I took the cap off and I can't pour it out. But if I put it on top of here like this and hear the snap, it'll start to refill my ink, my magenta ink. Okay, so I will pull this out once I'm finished. Yes. Because people have said, oh, Delonda, I made a mistake and I put the wrong color in. How do I get it out? I don't know. I really wish I had an answer, but I really don't know. I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to pull this out. And it just refilled my magenta ink. Then I would close that and I would refill any of them that needed to be filled up. And the ink that came with this printer is nowhere near this printer. The ink that came with this printer is in a box. Okay? How are y'all feeling about that? How are y'all feeling about that? So whenever somebody says they're converting a printer, that's all it is. They're putting in sublimation ink instead of the ink that came with the printer. You're not actually converting. You're not. When people think of converting, they think like transformer. It's not that. This is, I just converted it right there. Okay? That's really it. So don't let that big, the big words confuse you. Don't let the double talk confuse you or make you feel like, I don't know how to convert it. I don't know what to do. As long as you are using an eco tank, the ET stands for eco tank. That means it has these kinds of tanks like this. You will be good to go as long as you get sublimation ink and you don't use the ink that came with it. Now, this printer that you see up here, this is my wide format printer. This is the Epson Eco Tank 15,000. This printer will print up to 13 by 19. This printer will only go up to 8.5 by 14. I know, I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but not long. Okay? Okay. All right, I'm going back over to the other side and we'll see what y'all got to say. What questions do you have for me? Hey, Dawn. All right, what questions do y'all have so far? We've talked about paper and we've talked about ink. Now, let me also say, if I would have had the Epson Eco Tank 15,000 first, I would not have purchased that other printer. The only reason I purchased the first print is because I didn't really know. It's like I didn't know. I also have a workforce printer. I have an Epson workforce. I really feel like the workforce is missing a letter in between. Like it's like W blank F. I'll let you fill in the blank for what is missing, but I'm just saying, I don't love that printer. I don't love it. I don't love it. That printer, the workforce, I am convinced that there is a person living in the printer that actually drinks the ink. You can't convince me otherwise. Now, I don't think that they eat, but I do think they like drink the ink because it just didn't work well for me. Some people have workforces and they love them and they come for me. Like after the video, they're going to come for me like, Delonda, I have workforce and I love it. You don't even know what you're talking about. And guess what I say? Thanks for sharing. Because I'm not offended. It worked for you. That's great. But it didn't work for me. Okay? I just say thanks for sharing. The workforce printers have cartridges like this. With these, you do need syringes. You need actual syringes, as if you were at the doctor's office or living on the streets. And I didn't say street, I said streets. Multiple streets. Like what street? All of them. Okay? That didn't work well for me. That whole situation with the syringes and the it was too much for my life, and I don't have that time for that kind of drama. So as soon as I could, I got the Epson Eco Tank 15,000. Now, if I had used that printer as it was intended to be used for, like maybe stickers or printing out a large grocery list, right? Because maybe you want your grocery list to be 13 by 19 so you can really, really see it. But I tried to use it for sublimation. I used it twice and that thing was almost out of ink, and I opted out. What they say, you want to opt out? Yes. Opt me out. Unsubscribe me. Okay? Because that ain't it. That's not it. Okay? Now, any other questions about ink? You know what kind of bottles to get. You know, you can get the kind you want to get. I use Hippo. I probably won't ever be trying another brand, but that is all going to be what? Up to you. You can decide that. Somebody was asking about like the ink and smearing, all that stuff. We're going to get into that with settings. Yeah, I didn't have good experience with it. Now, Sublimation ink does expire. There's an expiration date on it. So this one says 2023. 2023. So there's an expiration date on the it's either on the sticker or on the box. So pay attention to that. You know, I would say don't buy too much because it does expire. Let me see when this other one expires. Because I have one that's not open. It expires this year too. But guess what? I'm gonna use it next year. Oh, that's no bueno, but I'm gonna what? Use it. Okay. I'm not going to be talking about color fixing, but I'm going to show you my color settings. Because what I have found when the colors are not right in some way is really the settings. Okay, that's what I found. All right. How y'all feeling so far? Am I going too fast? Am I going too slow? Is it too much? Not enough? See? All right, Jesse. Okay. All right. Okay, we're doing good so far. All right, so let me kind of check myself. Okay, so we've talked about paper, we've talked about ink, I talked about adding it, the expiration date, different tops, talked about everything I want to say about ink. Let's talk really quick about heat-resistant tape. Heat-resistant tape is another thing that, you know, you're going to find your favorite. My favorite is the Cricut brand. I just like it. I've never had an issue with like the ink showing up on the shirt or like having residue from the ink. I just prefer the Cricut brand. I also like the PYD Life brand. It's also blue, just like this one. So, you know, they're just different. These are both PYD Life heat resistant tape. You will need heat resistant tape, especially when you're making tumblers and mugs. And sometimes when you're making shirts, it just depends. You're going to need heat resistant tape. There are people who love the brown tape. I think that's great for them, not for me. I don't love it, but it looks like this. You see it's still sealed because I just don't love it. I don't love it. I think I tried it one time and then I saw residue and I was like, why is this still on here if I'm finished? When I'm finished, I don't want to have to do something to it. I don't like it. I don't like it, but I mean, there's great if people love it. That's great. I have a lot of it. I have some in that thing down there too. I don't ever plan to use it. I like to use this. I just keep it like right here, clipped to my table, just like this. So I just, keep it clipped like right there. I love this little Scotch tape. It is linked below the video. And I also love this little hedgehog right here. I have found that this is the perfect little holder for my Cricut heat resistant tape. I have not found the perfect holder for the PYD Life brand, but for my Cricut heat resistant tape, I either use this clip or this little hedgehog. Okay. So that is that. And right now, the Cricut heat resistant tape is on sale on Amazon for $3.99. And I just bought a couple packs, but however many I bought is between who? Me and the Lord. Okay. So there's that. All right. Heat resistant tape. You're going to need heat resistant tape. Butcher paper. Butcher paper is another thing that, you're going to, it really won't matter. You just need it to be uncoated, right? Because you're not wrapping meat. But you might, but you don't need to. Okay. So butcher paper is a thing, you can get it from anywhere. You can get it from Amazon. There's one on Amazon that I love because it comes in a box, just like the same kind of box that like foil comes in. I like that one because you can just, rip it out the what? Plastic, because you're acting what? Brand new. Okay, so you can use that. However, I personally like to get my butcher paper from Sam's Club because I get it in a big roll. And the roll that I get is $27. And this is what it looks like. Yes. This is what it looks like after being used for over a year. So this is tall and it's big. It's 1,000 feet. It's approximately, I was in Sam's Club. Today is Saturday. I was in Sam's Club Thursday and I saw it for $27. Somebody said they saw it for 30 something dollars, but I live in Texas. I live close to Houston and I saw this just Thursday for $27. So I suggest like looking online and see if you can find one. And if you don't have a Sam's Club membership, but your cousin does, then you do. Okay. And even if you haven't talked to them for over a year, you still call them and then you say, hey, how you been? I ain't talked to you in a year, but I was wondering if I could use your Sam's card to get some butcher paper. And while you're there, buy them a slice of pizza and y'all gonna be good. Back on speaking terms. Okay? That's what I would do. You're welcome. Okay? All right. So this big one back here, let me see if I can pull out the big one so you can see what it looks like before it's ever been used. If I could pull it out. Even if one of your coworkers has one, but you don't, you have one, okay? So this is an unopened butcher paper roll from Sam's. It's 1,000 feet. It says table covering. Butcher paper, same thing. It's back there by it's 18 by 1,000. It's back there by the aluminum foil and the pans and the saran wrap and all that kind of stuff. Okay. All right. Yes. So I'm glad you said that, Denise O. For sublimation, you do not need parchment paper and you do not need Teflon. Those are not your friend for sublimation. Come on with it, balloons. Then we parchment paper and butcher paper, just coating. So parchment paper, in addition to using it for my pizza when I'm warming it up, because I do use it for that. I really just use it in my oven. But for crafting, the only time, and I'm talking about two, I only use it. Balloons, y'all better be giving me life. I'm still talking. 1 second. When I use parchment paper, I use it for I only use it for um layering heat transfer vinyl. So like if I was making a layered design where I'm going to be layering different colors of heat transfer vinyl, I would use parchment paper to stop the vinyl from shrinking. And I use parchment paper after I've pressed a DTF transfer. That's it. That's the only time. Okay. That's the only time. I never use it for sublimation. Never. Okay. Hold on for 1 second, you guys. All right. So we good on paper, ink, heat resistant tape, and butcher paper. Okay, we good for those four things. Okay, good. All right, let's talk about a heat source next. I'm saving printers for last. Okay, we're gonna talk about printers last, and we're gonna talk about the settings. All right, so with a heat source, what you need to know is that you can't use a household iron. That's number one. You cannot use a household iron. That's it. I mean, I don't even know if we have one. I don't think we do because I gave it to my girls. Um, they're home right now, but we don't even really have one. You can use a Cricut Easy Press. Now, I have a Cricut Easy Press. A Cricut Easy Press is actually what I started with. Well, that's not true. I started with the household iron and I pressed glitter vinyl on canvas. And I was so proud of myself after I finished because it took like 45 minutes, baby. I was pressing. Do you understand me? Do you understand the amount of pressure that goes into using a household iron with glitter HTV? With my Fitbit was like, girl, you have worked out. I was very proud of myself. Okay. So I'm just gonna tell you that. Then I got a Cricut Easy Press and I was so excited. Like I felt like I was big time. You couldn't tell me nothing. Like what? I mean, look at you. You got an iron. I got an Easy Press. Like I thought I had really upgraded in my life. Okay. I was so proud. So an Easy Press is what I started with. An Easy Press is good. An Easy Press will give you what? Even heat. But honestly, an Easy Press is not a heat press. An Easy Press is still considered as an iron. It is. It's considered as an iron. The good thing about an Easy Press is that you can set the temperature, but guess what you also set with the Easy Press? You set the pressure. The pressure comes from you. So my advice is if you don't have a heat press yet and you're still undecided about which one to get, take the $99 that you would spend on an Easy Press and put that towards a heat press. Because, baby, the pressure comes from you. And a lot of times, depending on what you're making, like you really gotta, you could do it, put your back into it. You can do it, put your back into it. Like you really gotta put your back into it. And if you don't want to be crafting and putting your back into it, whatever money you were going to use on your Easy Press, take that money and use it to get a heat press. Okay? Because I Sheila, you going to use all that junk. You understand me? Hold on 1 second, y'all. These girls are getting ready to have somebody over, kids over here, and I'm ordering the pizza. Hand toss. Okay. Pepperoni, add to order. Okay. Yeah, you could do it, put your back into it. Yeah, that. All right. Come finish this, Morgan, and I'll look at it when you finish. Hurry up. Okay, so that you need a heat press. Now, as if you cannot afford a bigger heat press right now, like right now, that's just not in the budget, but you are still ready to get started with sublimation. An easy press is still a heat source, and it will work. It will work. Because it'll go up to 400 degrees, right? So it's the starting point. However, if you're wondering like which one would I recommend, I would not say I have a favorite or like I think you should get this one. What I would recommend in terms of size, my advice about heat presses has and will always be get the biggest one you can afford. Get the biggest one you can afford. And when I'm talking about the biggest heat press you can afford, I'm talking about the size of the platen. So this right here, let me turn this off. This is a 16 by 20. I didn't start out with this, right? I told you I started with that easy press. This is a 16 by 20. This is not something that everybody needs. Everyone doesn't need a 16 by 20. In my opinion, a fair size for a heat press is 15 by 15. If you can find a 15 by 15 heat press within your budget and it has good reviews, I think you will be good. I think you will be pretty much good to go. Now, with heat presses, and I'm talking about real heat presses, not easy presses, you're going to have options. You're going to have an option between like a clamshell like that. That's considered as a clamshell, right? Because this one will go up and down like this, right? This is a clamshell. The reason why I love this kind of heat press is because it's a space saver. I don't need a lot of space around it, right? And I can use all of this space on my table for my clamshell. I also have a swing away. Now, before I had that heat press, I had a swing away. A swing away is pretty much what it sounds like. The top platen swings away from it. I did get good heat from that, but I found that it was not a space saver because remember, whenever the heat press is open or is away, that was taken away from my available workspace. Okay. Let me see if I'm missing anything. Let me see if I'm missing anything. Oh, good. Okay. I just about the HU run. Okay. My Apple is showing me some love today. Okay. All right. My swing away is also, y'all want to see it or you trust what I'm saying? Or do you need to see it? My swing away is also 15 by 15, so it has the same size surface as this. So this is the mat from my 15 by 15. So I want you to get a good visual of what that looks like. This is the mat for 15 by 15. When I just in using heat press, and if you've watched a lot of my videos, you know I've used that heat press a lot, right? I use it a lot. I never felt like it was too small. I never felt like I need a bigger one. But I found that one on sale and I was like, I need a bigger one because I'm also a what? Shopper. Okay. So that's why I bought that. You want to see the Andrea? Andrea. Okay. You said the Parmesan twist? Parmesan, cinnamon. Okay. You want to see it? Okay, let me get it. It's heavy, but I'll grab it. What I want you to know and why I'm suggesting a 15 by 15, because that's a 15 by 15. I also have a 12 by 15. I want you to see the difference. And I'm going to tell you why. This right here is from my 12 by 15 heat press. So I'm going to put it up against my 15 by 15 so you can see it. So this is the 15 by 15. This is the 12 by 15. So you see, even just those, 3 inches makes a big difference. Okay. I agree with that, Martin. It makes a big difference if you can thread it through. Okay. All right. Now let me say this, and I'm not trying to say this like in like, oh, she's hating or throwing shade. The Cricut auto press, the one that was originally $1,000. The Cricut auto press is this size. $12 by 15. Okay. I just want you to know that. This mat came from my StarCraft 12 by 15 swing away with all of the attachments. Okay. So now this heat press is always out of stock. I haven't seen it in stock in a long time. All right, but let me get my swing away so you can see it. So the swing away, you like a sandwich maker? Okay, let me show you. I hope I'm answering your questions adequately. Before I get that swing away, let me say about this HTV ROM. I feel like a lot of people have this one. I like this heat press. This is also, this is a 15 by 15. The only downside to it, I use this one a lot for DTF transfers. That's what I primarily use it for. The only downside to this one is that you cannot control the pressure because it's an auto press. So the pressure is controlled by the heat press. So that's one, I don't know, downside maybe to that heat press. But I mean, it's a space saver. So to me, that's a good thing. All right. I'm trying to make room before I go get that other heat press because it's kind of big and I'm going to have to like hold it. Let me see if I can bring the table down. You use a 1-inch cutting board. That's a great idea. Yeah. Okay. Am I answering y'all's questions? I hope so. Remove this. That swing away is big, y'all. So I don't take time. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I used to use it a lot. Well, this thing is dusty. Sorry. This was my swing away. This, oh my gosh, this thing is heavy, y'all. And I haven't used this in a very long time. Let me see if let me move the camera back so you can see it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. See if y'all can see it. Okay, that's good. Y'all see it? Right. So I have not used this in a very, very long time. But you see, like it's to me, it served the purpose. Now I'm let me not throw any shade towards it because this thing did what I needed it to do for a long time. It's 15 by 15, so it has a nice size work surface. It just wasn't a space saver because if I'm crafting right here and I have to open this, then I have to make sure there's enough space over here for me not to burn anything. Like it just wasn't enough. It was not a space saver for me. So after using this one for a while, I moved to that one. Let me see if I can see what y'all saying. Hey, thank you. Okay. This one is 15 by 15. I'm gonna move this back over because this one, it does. And it's heavy. It's so heavy. Oh my gosh. It's just heavy and it's big and it's just, oh, let me put this back. So my advice, get the biggest one you can afford. 15 by 15 is a good size. Okay, let me move the camera back. Move the camera back. All right. Oh, that messed up my table too. Yes, Sheila, yes. I agree with that too, spilling the diversity. Okay, any questions about heat sources? Do I have a link for the pad like Teflon of my 16 by 20? I will add one. I got it from Heat Transfer Warehouse. I got that from Heat Transfer Warehouse. And I love having that on there, but I still add Teflon if I need to. Okay. Any other questions about heat presses? My advice, get the biggest one you can afford because it's easier to go smaller than it is to go bigger, right? You don't want to go get one and go bigger, 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 bigger. That's what I did. I started with that easy press and I went to that one. Then I had that. Then so it's a lot. Okay. How y'all feeling? How are you feeling? How are y'all feeling? The stand for my heat press, this one. Feeling good? Okay. Are you talking about that one, Valencia? Or this? Feeling good, feel informed. Good. Okay, that's what I want you to feel informed. All right. All right. So the last thing we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about the settings, the printer settings. I have all of that. Mug press, hat press, too many presses. Have I tried sublimation spray? No. So you don't have to use butcher paper with the heat press when sublimating and swing away. Yes, you do. You do. Both. So this right here, I want to show y'all this up close right now. I have done a couple of reels on this. I kind of use it as a store-all catch-all for my stuff, my sublimation stuff. Let me tell you what it started out as. Oh, it's right here. It started out as let me show you. And then I'm gonna bring it over here so you can see it up close. And if you look on the shorts on my channel, or if you follow me on TikTok or Instagram, I explained how that was made. But of course, since it has music, can't play it here. So it started out as this. You know, those crates that you can buy at Joann's, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Walmart. You know, you see these all the time. I think I may have paid between $12 and $15 for this, right? And let me tell you how it all happened. So this heat press just used to be down here on this table. And I always felt like when I was getting ready to press a shirt, I was getting ready to burn my head off because I was having to, like, you know, put my head under there to make sure that the shirt was straight or whatever, because this heat press doesn't pull out. It doesn't move, right? And I would always feel like I was putting my head under the under the heat press to make sure the shirt was straight. And I just hated that. And the table is low. And I told my husband, I'm like, I need a higher table. And he was like, what if I just build you a stand? Because I never could find a stand that will work. So he had the idea to get one of these. And what he did was he removed two slats. So these right here, I don't know how he removed it. I don't know how he removed it, but he removed the two pieces from here and the two pieces from here. And so picture. And then he got a piece of wood from, let's say, Lowe's or Home Depot. He had them cut it to 12 by 20, and he attached it to the top of the heat press because that would be long enough to hold the actual heat press. And what I do for the inside is just I store my stuff. So my parchment paper is there, my gloves are there, my Teflon sheets are there. Anything that I need for sublimation, or like when I'm using that heat press, I just store it in there. And my daughter painted it black. I added stickers, and that's what I use as a makeshift heat press stand. Okay. Okay. I haven't ever had a problem. I don't feel like I haven't burned my head. My head is still intact. Look at that, right? So I'm gonna bring it over here so you can see it closer, and you can kind of get a better understanding of what happened to make that happen. And then we're gonna look at printer settings. I'm gonna show you my exact printer settings and how I got my printer settings. Now, I don't keep this very clean and tidy, obviously, because all of this was in there. Sorry. So sorry. I put it right here for right now. We'll try to pick this up. So you see that? You don't see it good enough? Okay, so that's all this is. And then on this other side, I need to update these stickers because my channel name is not Cricketing with Delonda anymore. So on this side, you know, my daughter painted it black, and then I just added the peeling and everything. But I added these stickers. These are just little cuties. That's it. Okay. All right, so that's what this is. And it works perfectly for what I need. And I don't feel like, so because like, just think about it. Like with my heat press down here, and I'm trying to, you know, get a shirt, get it straight. I'm down here like this, trying to figure it out. Like I felt like I was gonna burn my head off. Like, girl, you burned your head. How you burn your head? Cause I was trying to get my shirt straight. Okay. Any questions about that? Now I can use bling. All right. Now that table is different because I felt like I needed something sturdy. So that table is actually like it's like a restaurant table, and it's capable of holding up to 400 pounds. I wanted something very sturdy to hold my to hold that heat press. And I didn't order anything until I was 100% sure about it. Okay, so that's what I use. That's what I use for that. And I'll leave a link for that later. Okay, so we good on that? Well, y'all ready to go into printer settings? Okay. All right. Okay, good. All right. Any questions about anything that I've already talked about yet? I mean, already. Anything, any questions about anything I already talked about? Somebody tell me what I said about the heat source. What was my advice? Yeah. So I knew this one was heavy. This heat press is very, very heavy. It is very, very, very heavy. Like Peter had to take it out of the box to get it up here. But this I love this because I don't know. I know you can't see the bottom, but it has a shelf down there, and that's where I keep that big butcher paper. Let me see if I can bring the camera down so you can see it. You can't really move the table down. Buy the biggest one you can afford. See that? So I have a container down there, and that's where I keep my butcher paper. Okay. No home iron. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Now, let me also say, because I know somebody asked me, when you print a sublimation design, do you have to use it right away? Before we go into printer settings, let me show you where I keep my sublimation designs. If I don't use them right away, I also keep my infusible ink scraps in this same container. So I just bought one of these from Hobby Lobby. I think I got from Hobby Lobby. I'm gonna say I got from Hobby Lobby. And this one was $3.99. And all of my infusible ink scraps and anything that I've printed in terms of like a sublimation image that I haven't used is also in here. Okay, everything like that is in here. And I can press it right now and it's going to be fine. It's not like it expired. It doesn't. Roll holder. This came from Michaels. It's actually called a vinyl over the door roll holder. Came from Michaels. Okay, but don't get it if it's not on sale, because to me it's better if it's on sale. All right, so like all of my infusible, like I cut this the other night when I did those coasters. Right? I just keep it in here. Let me move the table back up. So like this is a sublimation image. I can press this and it's going to be fine. This is infusible ink scraps. I just keep it all in here. Sublimation image. Okay, I just keep it all in here. So I printed these as extras in case I messed up on my tumblers, and they're just in here, so I can press them whenever I want to. Okay, that's what I do. All right, so your sublimation in this, I don't know if you were on with me when I did that big puzzle, but this is like, it's just in here. But if ever I get ready to press it, I can. Okay. Yeah, no issues. Everything that's considered as like sublimation, it's in here. Okay. All right. So I don't have a big box for this kind of stuff. Everything fits in here so far. Oh, let me pull this out. I'm going to show you this. So before we go into settings and someone asks about ink profiles or ICC profiles, let me tell you my opinion about that, because I don't really I haven't noticed the difference. I haven't, but some people might have. So I don't use ICC profiles. I did, add the ICC profile for my printer and all that stuff. I did not notice a difference. I suggest before you get started with sublimation that you, I'm telling you that I don't think it makes a difference. That's just me. This is what I was going to say, if you haven't gotten started with sublimation, I suggest getting some test fabric. You can get this. I got this from Walmart. This is just 2 yards of scrap polyester. It's 100% polyester. It's in the fabric department of Walmart. This was $2. You can test out your colors on something like this instead of wasting a blank. Okay. Personal, start with this. Sometimes I'll, test it out just to make sure everything's good, just using something like this. Okay. And I have a lot of this because I buy it a lot. Where would I recommend purchasing a heat press? I think Amazon is good, but I like Heat Transfer Warehouse. I would say a reputable company that's going to stand behind it. So this one came from Heat Transfer Warehouse. That one came from 143 Vinyl. I love both of those companies, and I would share their information with no hesitation. I love both of those companies. Okay, so this is test fabric. So these are just like my tests. This is no ICC profile. This is my fabric, and I printed this flower from Microsoft Word. This is one I printed from Cricut Design Space. I do not use ICC profiles. I did not find a difference. This is just sublimation fabric. Okay. Hey, Teresa's Sister Hearts and Crafts and Things. I think I said it right. Teresa's Sister Heart Crafts and Things. All right. So now I think I said everything I want to say about that. Now let's go into settings. All right. How y'all feeling? Oh, okay, cool. Good. Good. Yeah, I don't use them. I don't use ICC profile. I just didn't feel like it made a difference for me. Okay. So my suggestion, and I'm sharing what has worked for me because that's all I can share, is that when you get a printer, and Epson, if you are purchasing a printer that's not a true sublimation printer, like the one I just showed you is an Epson EcoTank 2760. In my opinion, any of the EcoTanks will work just fine. You could purchase an Epson EcoTank 2800, 2850, 3800, like whatever. You will just notice minor differences, like the Epson EcoTank 2720 and the Epson EcoTank 2760. The only difference is mine will print front and back, whereas the 2720 won't. And I don't even need it to print front and back because I only use that printer for sublimation. Okay. Tell them about the mats. What mats? Oh, Kawanda, where do you live? Where you live, Kawanda? You can also buy these little towels at Dollar Tree. Yes. So if you go to Dollar Tree, Kawanda, They have, let me see, oh, like these. This came from Dollar Tree. You get 5 of them in here, and they're 100% polyester. So if you can't find this is actually cheaper, and you can still test it. Okay. Okay. What kind of table? This is a I don't remember. What I do know is that the white one is out of stock, but they have it in black. Joanne Fabric, you can get it from there too. Let me write all this stuff down. I need to link the table. Heat press cover. And a heat press stand. You're in Florida? Okay, Kawanda, at the end, email me your address and I'll send this to you. Okay, you can have this one. Okay. All right, let's go to printer settings. My email is craftingwithdelonda@gmail.com. Craftingwithdelonda@gmail. All right, let's go to printer settings. That's their pizza. You can sub ink to my 2720 as long as you don't have any other ink in there. As long as you don't have any other ink in there, yes. Yes. The mats I have on the wall, they're just Cricut mats that's just hanging up on the wall. Heat press company. Okay. Okay. Rhonda, you know that's what I do. All right. Let me share my screen so we can see. All right, let me go to present, share screen. Let's go to entire screen. God. Is that big enough? Let's close all this stuff out. Is that big enough? Okay, so no matter what Epson printer you purchase, right? Because if you have decided that you want to purchase an Epson Eco Tank to use for sublimation, your first stop after you get to your house is to go to the Epson website. And all I typed in was Epson.com. Epson.com. Okay. If you go to Epson.com, you should come up with this. Now, I am going to do a search for my printer. Okay, my printer. And the one I showed you was an Epson Eco Tank 2760, right? So right here, see where I'm clicking on search? See where I am? Search. Yes. Yes. Okay. So I would click on search and then I would just search for my printer. And my printer, I don't have to type in Epson because I'm already on the Epson website. Right. So I would just type in the model number 2760. Right. All I typed in was the model number. If I were doing this for my Epson Eco Tank 15,000, I would type in 15,000. If I was doing this for my 8550, I would type in 8550. All you're going to type in is the model number. So you're going to have your printer out of the box. It's going to be connected. and you are going to come to the Epson website, right? You're going to go right here and find the one you have. Now, I don't have the Epson Workforce. I have the Epson Eco Tank. So this one says refurbished, but whatever. Okay, I'm going to click on that. And I'm going to scroll down. And I'm going to go down here to support. See where I am? Right here, it says drivers and downloads. I need to make sure that when I purchase an Epson EcoTank printer, after I have the printer connected to my computer and I do not have the ink in the printer that came with the printer, that ink is going to be nowhere near my printer. I might even just leave that ink in the car. I might put that ink in the kitchen or put that ink in a different room. I'm only going to use my sublimation ink that I've decided that I want to use. I'm going to go to my drivers and downloads, and depending on your operating system, right? Because you have to download the drivers based on the operating system you're using, right? So right here it says, attention, your operating system may not be detected. It's important that you manually select your operating system in the drop-down menu. All right, so let's see. Based on your operating system. So let's say I'm using a Windows 11 operating system. I'm going to click go. And then I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to download the drivers and the utilities combo for my printer based on my operating system. Now, if you're using a Mac and you purchased an Epson EcoTank 8550, you would have typed in 8550, and for operating system, you would have selected Mac. If you're using Windows 10, if you're using like whatever your operating system is, you're going to select the one in the drop-down menu. So now let me see if I can see what my operating system is. Let me close this. See, I'm using Windows 11. I'm using Windows 11. And if you're not sure what operating system you're using, you can go to the search at the bottom down there and then type in operating system, and it'll tell you what your operating system is. You only need to download the drivers, yes, if you're going to want to change the color settings for sublimation, yes. How are y'all feeling so far? How are y'all feeling so far? Good. Okay. So you would have to find your operating system. Most of the time when people say, oh, Delonda, my colors are not coming out right. I'm not sure what's going on. Like, I don't see the same options you have. Like, my printer options don't look like yours. If you don't have a lot of options when you go to your printer settings, most of the time, from what I can tell, and this is just in my limited experience, it's because you haven't downloaded the drivers. In order to change your settings to what I'm going to show you my settings are, you have to download the drivers, okay? If you want to make your settings match my settings, you have to download the drivers. And the drivers have to match, right? They should match the printer you're using. So after you finish downloading the drivers, now I'm not going to download the drivers because I already have the drivers downloaded for my printer. I don't need to download them again. Okay, I don't need to do it again. I've already done it. Thank you. Thank you, Gina. Good, Bev Jean. Okay, so but Bevy Jean, you know you can go up to 8.5 by 14, which is actually pretty good. So once I've done this, like once I'm finished with this, then I would close this out and I would go to, I don't know, let's just say Cricut Design Space, because I think that's something that's familiar to a lot of people, right? A lot of people use Cricut Design Space, right? So I'm going to close this out and I'm going to stop sharing. Thank you, Kawanda. Okay. Thank you, Brenda. Okay, so we understand that. Got to have the right paper. You can't just use any paper. It has to be sublimation paper. You got to have the ink. The ink is going to be your personal preference. Choose one. Do not use the ink that came with the printer. Don't do it by mistake. Don't put one in and say, Delonda, I put it in by mistake. Because all I can do is say, I'm sorry. And I do feel bad when that happens. Trust me, it happened to somebody in my family. And all I could do was say, I'm sorry. But don't put the ink in it that came with it. Choose your butcher paper. Get you some good tape, right? Get a heat source, the biggest one you can afford. All right, let's go to Cricut Design Space. All right. All right. Yes. Okay, so we're in Cricut Design Space. Hey, Kathy. Okay. Well, I would suggest for going all the way back, Kathy, and watching from the beginning because we're almost at the end. Okay. So we're in Cricut Design Space, right? Let's pretend like we have already found the perfect image that we want to sublimate, right? And I'm going to sublimate an image. I'm gonna just put something on this bag. This bag right here is a polyester bag that came from, let me stop sharing so y'all can see it. This bag is 100% polyester. I got this from Michael's and I think it was like $2, right? $2. I like to buy these. You could buy them in bulk from Michael's online, but if you go in, you can only get like one. But if you order them online, I think you can get like 20 at a time. That's what I did. Okay, so I'm going back to share. Go back to share screen. Go back to window. All right. Okay, good. All right, so now let's look for an image. I'm just going to find a butterfly. So I'm just going to search for butterfly. Right? And I want to find one that's like really colorful. I like to sublimate butterflies. I just do. I love butterflies. I think they're very pretty. Let's find one that's nice and vibrant and colorful. That blue one is pretty. Let's see. Oh, I like that one. I like this one right here. Let's see. Y'all seen the butterfly? Okay. Operation type. Let's do print and cut. So let's narrow that search. Ooh, that one is very colorful. Ooh, I see so many pretty ones. Wowzers. Let's do this one. I like that. Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. Okay, so we're going to add that to canvas. Okay. Did I add it? I feel like I did. Let's see. I guess just thinking about it. Okay, so this is good. That's a pretty butterfly, right? Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. All right, so this one is like right at about 8.3 by 5.8. And I'm gonna try to make it a little bit bigger to see if Cricut Design Space will let me be great. Sometimes they let you be great, sometimes they don't. Let's see. So I'm looking over here for an error, right? I'm looking to see if it's going to give me any kind of issues and drama. Let's see what this says. Low resolution, that's just a glitch. Don't worry about that if you see that. No, I know good and well Cricut ain't gonna let me do this, but let me see. Let me unlock it and see if it'll let me. Really? No error? Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, so it's gonna let me go to 9 by 6.8. And I'm not gonna do anything to it. I'm just gonna click make. I'm gonna say don't save. I don't really care about it enough. All right, so now it's saying that it's ready for print then cut, right? This is my print then cut screen. So I'm going to click continue. I'm going to click send to printer. Now I don't really need to mirror this because it's a butterfly. And it doesn't have any words, right? If this says something like soar to new heights, or I don't know, dream, or I don't whatever, change, metamorphosis. If it had any words on it at all, I would definitely need to mirror this. But because it doesn't, and it's a butterfly and it's symmetrical, I don't really need to mirror this. Now I am going to turn this heat press back on. But this time I'm going to change it to 400 degrees and I'm going to do 60 seconds. And I'm going to be letting this heat up while we get our printer settings. Okay. All right. So I'm going to remove myself from the screen to try to make this bigger, with the hope that it will be bigger on the screen. Okay. Let me remove myself and go to full screen and go back so you can see it better. Hopefully that'll make it a little bit bigger. All right, so I'm going to select my Epson EcoTank 2760. I'm going to turn the add bleed off. The add bleed only, it just adds a tiny offset around your image, whatever you're printing. And most of the time you won't need it. I feel that you'll need that if you are using photo transfer paper. Okay. All right. So I'm going to click Use System Dialog. The purpose of clicking Use System Dialog is it brings up my printer settings. If I don't select Use System Dialog and I just click Print, then I won't be able to select my sublimation settings, but you need to see my sublimation settings. So I'm going to select Use System Dialog and I'm going to select Print. Hey, Sharon Davenport. Okay, so I'm going to go to these are my different printers that I have connected to this computer. And I'm going to go over here to my Epson EcoTank 2760 series. I'm going to select preferences. Now, when the preferences box comes up, you see a lot, like a list of things over here, right? A lot of different options. When I I'm going to set up my printer settings right here so you can see what they look like. If you do not download the drivers, let me say this. You see all this stuff right here? I haven't seen that yet, Marshall. Do y'all see this list of stuff right here? Thank you so much for becoming Dr. York. If I did not download the drivers, I would not have these options. If you don't download the drivers for your printer and your operating system, you will not have these options. So if you're like, oh, Delonda, I've tried to do mine, but I don't see the same options. All I ever see is, did you download the drivers? I think I've said, did you download the drivers so many times that my phone recognizes what I'm typing. I never have to actually type it. If I type did, the next word that's going to pop up is you. And then download, then drivers. Okay, so I'm going to go over here. This is 8.5 by 11 paper, right? And it's in portrait mode. My paper type that I always choose, the paper type I always choose is premium presentation paper matte. I always do that. And the quality is high. For color, I just keep it on color. Multi-page is off. My print preview, I keep the print preview on because I want to see what it's going to look like before it actually prints. Doing that will save you time, paper, money, tears, frustration, and everything else. Okay, so once I have this, let me go to my sublimation preset so you can see. Okay, so the next thing I would do is I will go to right here where more options. See where it says more options? Right here, the document size is still 8.5 by 11. The output size is same as document size. For color correction, I go to custom. So the default setting is on automatic, but what I put mine on is custom, and I go to advanced. Once I get to advanced, I change my color management to right here on color mode. I keep it on Adobe RGB with a gamma of 2.2. And I have not changed any of these settings right here. Now, I know that there are some content creators who do make changes here. I haven't ever made any changes here, and you see what my printer settings look like. I mean, you see what my printed images look like. Okay. Without downloading the drivers, you don't have any of these options. I downloaded the drivers and set everything up, but now when I print, I only get the preview screen and it's mirrored. I don't get the option of the colors. Did you go to the second option for color management, Tanya? Okay, so these are my settings. These are my exact settings. So I would click OK right here. Now, if I love this, if this is the setting I want to save forever, and I don't want to have to change it every time, and I don't want to have to click the settings and like, what did Delonda say for the color management? I want to save it. I would click right here. See right here where I'm hovering, where it says add, remove presets. If you're following along with me and you are setting yours up just like mine, and you want to save this setting, right here where it says add, remove preset. See right here, add, remove preset is blue when my mouse is hovering right there. Thank you, Rhonda. See where I'm right here, I'm hovering over this, add, remove. I would click right there and I would name it. I would say this is my Cricut Design Space Sublimation preset. And I might even give it like a green book to match Cricut. And I would click save. Now, when I print, or if I want to go back to this exact setting, I never have to enter it again. It's saved. It's in there. So I can close this and I can see, like I can see that Cricut Design Space Sublimation preset. Those settings will be there until I add another one. How are y'all feeling so far? How are y'all feeling? Okay, good, Chandra. Great, Marshall. Okay, so right here, in addition to all of that, like I would make sure rotate is not checked. I would also make sure that high speed is not checked, but my mirror image is checked. You want the mirror image to be checked. So I'm going to click OK. And once I click print, nothing is going to print, because what's going to happen is it's going to show me a print preview. So I'm going to click print, and what's going to pop up on my screen is a print preview. Now I know you can't see it, but let me stop sharing and show you what my screen actually looks like, because I want you to see the print preview. See that? So I can look at it and I can say, do I like that? Yes, I do. I like it. And then I can click print. Now, I don't personally keep paper in my printer. I just don't, because I never want to waste the paper and have like a paper jam. So I only put paper in as needed. But, you know, the only thing that really helps is my Fitbit. Okay, so I'm putting the paper in. Putting the paper in. I'm gonna click OK. I'm gonna show y'all it printing from the printer so you can see it from that printer. So I'm gonna click print. Okay, let me go back. Hold on. So my girls are having a friends must. I don't even know what that is, but that's what they're having. Okay, let's see. Okay, you see, this is the printer that I just showed you, and it's going to take a while for it to come out. I would say connect the printer, Kathy. Can you download the drivers before you've installed the printer? I would say connect the printer first. I don't know, but I did do it on camera with my Epson EcoTank 15,000. I unboxed it, I downloaded the drivers, and I did my first print online live. Have I ever printed with Caesar Easy Subly on my 2760? So I have, Betty Jean, but it is very, I don't recommend using it that way. I will leave a link to the way I suggest using the Easy Subly, because it takes forever to dry. Because that Easy Subly is really intended. They are making all the noise. That Easy Subly is intended for sawgrass printers. I'm so sorry, y'all. Hold on, I'm sorry. Okay, it's not bothering you, the noise? Because they are having a friendsmas with their high school friends that they haven't seen in a while. They invited 10 friends over. They like decorated downstairs. It's so cute. Oh, okay, thank you. All right, so now what I want to say about this, you see it's taking a while to print because I don't have it on fast print. Like you don't want it to print fast. You want it to actually print slow. Okay, all right, good. Okay, thank you. And I told them they can only invite 10 people. So we ain't got time for all that. Not bothering me? Okay. So what you'll notice with the image when it prints out is that it's not going to be vibrant, right? It's going to be dull, but it will be more vibrant after that heat does what it's supposed to do. That's how sublimation works. Thank you. I'm happy to hear them laughing too. Thank you so much. Oh, karaoke. I bought them a karaoke machine. They didn't even want it. Same thing with Cricut. That's how I got started. I got started because I bought them the Cricut and they didn't want it. Yes, Charlotte, it'll stay up. They didn't craft anything. They bought stuff. They baked them cakes and they yes, Jennifer. I only use the rear tray. I didn't show that, but I'll show it right now. So like this is the paper, right? And it says A sub on the back. So I turn it around so the paper is facing me and I put it in this tray right here, back there, and it just, prints one at a time. I never keep paper in there. And even with that, this printer, I don't keep paper in here either. And I always use the back tray. Thank you, Marilyn. I know it's literally because of them. After I press this bag, I'm gonna do it as a giveaway. Does my printer clog? No. Mm-mm. And I don't use it all the time. I don't. Okay, so here's my printed image. So you see it's not that vibrant as it was on the picture. Okay. I'm going back to the other camera. So here's the image, and I have the heat press powered on. What I typically do is I let the image sit on the heat press just to make sure the ink is dry. But you see what my printer, my printed image looks like. You saw my printer settings. I showed them to you. I saved the settings. I suggest you save your settings, that you don't keep clicking every time. Just save it, whatever your settings are. So I have a setting saved for 8.5 by 11. I have a setting saved for 8.5 by 14. I have a setting saved for 11 by 17. In my opinion, you should save your settings based on the size of the paper. Okay. So then you just click on that size. So I have 8.5 by 11 mirrored, 8.5 by 14 mirrored, 11 by 17 mirrored. Okay. So I just let it sit there for like a minute, right? I'm just letting it sit. And while that's sitting, I can be getting this bag ready. And when I say getting this bag ready, all I mean is I'm going to lint roll it. I'm going to put butcher paper inside the same way I did with that shirt, right? When I did the shirt, I put butcher paper inside to protect the ink from going through from one side to the other side. So I'm getting my butcher paper from down here from my big, big roll. And I'm going to fold it, put it inside the bag. And you want to lint roll. You want to lint roll before you pre-press. Okay. Thank you, Teresa. Okay, so let's pretend like I let that sit, right? It's been sitting for a minute, right? Just move it right here. I'm going to bring this out. So I'm going to lint roll. I'm not really good at lint rolling, but everybody has a talent. Lint rolling is not mine. What's your talent? Not lint rolling. But that's okay. That's all right. They got a whole agenda planned for these. They're friends. I'll bring the thing down there so y'all can see. Lint roll. All right, I'm just do it for like 5 or 10 seconds. Okay, so now here's one thing about sublimation that you might not know. You don't actually have to let your machine cut it, right? So I don't need my machine to cut this because it doesn't have to be exact. This is white, that's white. So I'm just gonna tear these lines. I'm just gonna tear this away. I don't need my Cricut to cut this because sometimes your Cricut will give you what? Drama, right? Because it won't cut right or whatever, right? I don't need it to cut this. So I'm gonna just tear these registration lines off. And it's better to tear them than to cut them, because sometimes when you cut them, it'll have those hard lines. You don't need that. So I'm just tearing it off. See that? I just tore the lines off. I don't have a So one day, Kawanda, just a true story. I'm gonna tell you a true story once this gets started. Tell you a true story about how I got the lint roller that I have. True story. It's gonna be a little story time. So I'll put this down here like this. And I'm gonna use some heat resistant tape from a little handy dandy little clip, right? butcher paper on top to make sure I don't get any ink on my heat press. I like to fold my butcher paper. It's just a habit. It's just what I do. You gotta do it the way you do it. And I'm gonna press this 400 degrees for 60 seconds. Okay, let me tell you a story about how I got this lint roller. So one day I needed my husband to be I needed him to be gone for a few minutes because I was working on a video and he was making noise and it was taking me over the top. And I said, babe, will you please do me a favor and go get me a lint roller? That's what he came back with. He bought this one. Oh, my biggest piece of advice about lint rollers is don't get it from Dollar Tree. And he bought this one, but I haven't tried it yet. I haven't tried it yet. Evercare Giant Extreme Stick. I was like, where'd you get this from? He's like, well, I just wanted to get two because I didn't know which one you would want. I know. I was like, thank you so much. That's what he got. Okay. All right, so now we finished, right? It's done. And I'm going to peel it in front of you so you can see it. I'm going to turn this off. See, if I wouldn't have had this butcher paper on there, see, this would have been on my heat press. And if you use a Teflon sheet, this would have been on your Teflon sheet. Okay, so you don't want to use Teflon. You want to use butcher paper. Butcher paper is meant to be thrown away. Teflon is meant to be used over and over and over again. Okay, so here's my bag or somebody's bag, whoever's going to get this, right? So I'm going to just peel this back. See that? See that? That's it. You saw my colors, you saw my settings. I didn't do anything fancy. I don't have an ICC profile. I didn't feel like an ICC profile did anything different or better for me. Okay, you see? Okay. So the inside of my bag was good. Nothing happened with that. Isn't that cute? Let me see. That's me, honey, wear my bag. Yeah. Good. It's really, really good. It's so pretty. It's very pretty. Probably should have put one on the other side too. But you know what I'll do? I will print another one, and whoever gets this bag, I'll just put the other one in the bag and you can press it for yourself. Okay, how about that? All right. So the only other thing that I want to talk about before I land this plane is hacks. Okay, I want to talk about hacks. So when you think about sublimation hacks, anything that is not true sublimation. So if you're not using a high polyester count, like if you use like a 65% polyester count, I'm gonna show you what that looks like. To me, it's kind of like a hack because you're not gonna get nice, vibrant colors. This is an example of a 65% polyester shirt. So this is a George brand shirt that I purchased from Walmart. Let me find the polyester count. I think it's 65%. Let's see. Yes. So this is 65% polyester, 35% cotton. So you see, this shirt is not vibrant. The ink is in there, but it will look so much better if I used a Cricut shirt or a shirt with a higher polyester count. Okay, so keep that in consideration. Now, some people might say this is great because, you know, I mean, you can still see it and the ink is still in there. Yes, but it has more of a vintage look. Okay, so there's that. Now, I haven't ever worn this shirt because I just didn't. Okay. All right. This is another example of a shirt with 65% polyester, also George brand. So if my mouth doesn't say it, my face definitely will. Okay. So you see it's not nice and vibrant. These are sublimation shirts. So like, let me show you. That's Infusible Ink. So this is a shirt that I did with True Sublimation. It's a Cricut shirt. It's a photo of me and my family from last year. We are Houston Rockets fans. And I just put the photos in the letters. Okay, so it's in there. It's a Cricut shirt. It looks nice and vibrant. This is a Cricut shirt. This is just an image from Creative Fabrica. You see it's nice and vibrant. This is also a Cricut shirt. It's a butterfly. You see it's nice and vibrant. Okay. When you are doing a hack, like let's just say you don't want to wear polyester because not everybody likes polyester. If you are the kind of person who likes to wear cotton shirts or darker shirts, you would need to do a hack. This is the Sublimation DTF hack. So I use my sublimation printer and DTF film to get this image on this shirt. Okay, this is considered as a hack. Hey, Risa. Now this hack worked well. It printed nicely. It looks great. It has washed very nicely. It's not too, I mean, I actually think it came out pretty good. Really good. This is a hack though. This is also a hack. This is my sublimation image on top of white heat transfer vinyl and also on top of clear sublimation vinyl from HTV Rond. That's how I did this one. This one is a hack. This one has been washed probably maybe closer to about 20 times. Okay. Okay. So those are hacks. Anything that's not true sublimation with sublimation ink from a sublimation printer with the whole process, it's a hack. Okay, so be careful about using hacks. My opinion, start with infusible ink, then test with your polyester fabric. Test with some fabric. If you can't find this, you can go to fabric stores. You can go to Dollar Tree. When you feel confident, you got your colors, you got your drivers, then move on to a sublimation blank. And after you finish that, then you might try hacks. I don't ever suggest starting with a hack. Okay. Should be. Okay. All right. All right. So I think I've covered everything. I think I've covered everything. I think I've covered everything. Is there anything that I did not cover that you have a question about? Hey, Viola Floyd, thank you for being here. Now, if y'all did not get a chance to like the video, please do that. Never did a hack. Thank you, Dims. Dims, thank you. I appreciate that. Got a cup of tea. Thank you, Miss Parker. I appreciate it. Okay. Thank you, Jane. Okay, now I know it was long. I wasn't trying to be this long, but I was trying to be comprehensive. If you're wondering where I purchase my sublimation blanks, most of my blanks come from Amazon. I love to purchase from Amazon because I like to read the reviews. I like to look at the number of reviews. When I'm purchasing something from Amazon, I typically look at reviews that are 4.4 and higher. That's me. And I look to see like how many, if there's only 15 reviews, I'm thinking, no, that's 15 of your cousins. That's what I do. But 4.4 or higher, that's typically what I do. Okay. All right. Okay. Hopefully you get it. Hopefully everything was covered. Let me do this giveaway really quick. Let's do the giveaway really quick. The white and brown. I don't know. I haven't ever tried the brown butcher paper, but I don't know. I don't know if I would try it. Go party with the kids. Okay. Well, no, I'm not going to enter because they got a whole little agenda. I hung out with them the other night. We went to go see the lights. It was so much fun. We had a great time. Hit the thumbs up. Please, yes, please hit the thumbs up. Y'all forget to do that sometimes. And when you like a video, basically what that's telling YouTube is you enjoy the content. And so whenever I make a video, the content will be recommended. So please do that. I appreciate that very, very much, more than you know. That increases the engagement. It makes sure the video spreads. Okay. All right. So let's do the giveaway. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Thank you, Kat. Okay, and I will remember to put the links because I wrote it down for myself. So just be on the lookout for that. Okay. All right, let's do the giveaway. Let's do the giveaway. StreamYard giveaway. StreamYard.com. Giveaway. All right. Let's call it. Let's go to present, share screen, window. Entire screen, share. Here. You're going to type in butterfly. Like that. Just type in butterfly. It doesn't sound like that many people down there. I think they invited 10. I don't think I hear 10 people. Maybe me and Peter will leave. Once we get to 60, I'll draw it. I have made a mess. All right, you ready to click draw? Marshall Jackson. Congratulations, Marshall. You better be over there winning. Okay, thank you. All right, so Marshall, I will print another butterfly, but I'm not going to press it. It'll just be in the bag. Okay. Let me cut this off. I'm not going to press it, but it'll be in the bag. All right, let me check right quick. All right, did we accomplish our goal? Did we accomplish our goal? Did we accomplish our goal? Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Let me say my say. We're going to get out of here. Thank y'all so much for spending your time with me. I know you can spend your time anywhere. And when someone has decided to give me their time, I appreciate it more than you will ever imagine. I will say that I want to remind everyone to not get involved with road rage. It's not worth it. When you leave your house, your goal should be to get back to your house. So if that means that somebody's trying to go around you, or they're not even caring that you had your blinker on and they just want to let them go around you, you tell yourself they have to use the bathroom. They have to use the bathroom. I'm in the way. They had to use the bathroom. I'm in the way. I'm going to let them do what they do. Okay. Just don't involve yourself. Don't argue. Don't prove a point. No right finger or fellowship. No, nothing. No neck. No, you don't need to tell me. Nothing. Nothing. You keep your eyes on the road so you can arrive alive. People are going through stuff. The holidays are a tough time for a lot of people because during the holidays, that's usually when people are stressed about money. They're worried about or grieving the loss of a loved one, and they're thinking about that. And when they get in their car, they like to take that stress out on the road. They don't take it out at home, or sometimes they do. They get home, they're mad at everybody, and they get in their car and they zooming down the street. Just don't involve yourself. Don't argue with anybody. Don't blow your horn. It's not worth it. Road rage is senseless and it's just not necessary. Okay, just please do not involve yourself in it. Okay, please, please, please. I'm never, because I'm always going to be involved in a concert. There's going to be a concert in my car. Okay, because I'm going. You can't tell me I'm not Fantasia. Oh yeah, candles burning. Like I'm singing. You understand me? I'm not. I don't even know what they're doing because I'm singing. I'm singing in my car. It's gonna be a full concert. Fantasia D. Okay. All right. And y'all go on. Y'all be nice and kind to each other. Show compassion. You never know what people are going through. Be careful if you still got to go out to these stores. Keep your car key in your hand. Don't be walking to the car looking through your purse for a key. Okay, that's me with the vocals. You understand? You see it. Okay, Kawanta, send me your mailing address and I'll put this in the mail for you. Tuesday. Don't be, I'm not going nowhere tomorrow, Kawanta. Okay, Kawanda, Tuesday. All right, now I'm gonna get on out of here. Nobody's told you they love you today. I love you. I hope you found this helpful. Go back and watch it a whole bunch of times. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Okay, all right. Okay, and if you haven't subscribed, do that. Sometimes people are watching, they haven't subscribed. Go subscribe. Do that. Okay? All right. Bye, y'all.